up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Grind Season 3, Episode 22. My name is Tyler Wargo, and today we have lots to talk about. Not really much, but I know we have a lot of good games to talk about. We have the NBA action from last night. We also have NHL on the ice following up after that. Lots has happened in the hockey world as well. So let's really kick it off. We have the Hawks conquering the Bulls 124 to 130. I was really shocked by that. Obviously, the Bulls are really hot. The Hawks, they almost beat the Celtics a couple nights ago, and then they still lost. So the Hawks picking up that win really revived them from that loss that they took against the Celtics. Celtics laid out the Grizzlies 107 to 120. Celtics record, that was a really good game, by the way. Love seeing the offense and defense from both sides. Obviously, I don't mind the Grizzlies as a team. I know John Morant's one of the best guys out there. We love watching him play. He's really good at dunking. Celtics record, Celtics laid them out 107 to 120. Celtics record is 38 and 27, while the Grizzlies record is 43 and 21. Really good game. Obviously, the Celtics, they're having a really good record right now, but obviously they do have the 27 losses that follow them. As for the Grizzlies, they're really hot right now with the 43 wins on their back, really helping the team. Celtics are doing great without Jaylen Brown. Obviously, Jaylen Brown has a sprained ankle. It was really upsetting seeing him go down in the Hawks game, but he will come back. I wasn't last night, but it should be the next game if the Celtics play, which should be tonight. Man of the game was Jason Tatum. This guy is absolutely carrying right now. Him and Al Horford were working great in the paint together. Jason Tatum had 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 37 points. Really good. And now the question is, when will we see Jaylen Brown back in action? And that will definitely be either the next game or the game after. They definitely should have him. It's not really that much. Just an sprained ankle. It shouldn't be that bad. But thankfully, it could be worse. Pistons beat the Raptors 108 to 106 in Toronto. He dominated the Nets 113 to 107. Obviously, that was a really good game. Nets, they're trying to keep their wins alive. Obviously, they're tied right now, 23 and 23 record. Man of the game was Bam Adebayo. This guy is absolutely stunning on the court. This guy's a forward. This guy is really well. He works really well with Tyler Hero in the paint, just like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 30 points that Bam Adebayo had. Now, who is better, Bam Adebayo or Tyler Hero? Obviously, both these two guys on the court are really well. And personally, I think Bam Adebayo, this guy is really well working in the paint. Tyler Hero, he's more of an outside shooter. He'd shoot beyond the arc. His shots normally don't go in all the time. And another thing is, Bam Adebayo doesn't get hurt as much as Tyler Hero. Not that getting hurt is a good thing, but Bam Adebayo, this guy is absolutely stunning. As for Tyler Hero, this guy doesn't really get the playing time as much as Bam, so that's why I think Bam Adebayo is definitely way better than Tyler Hero, although they're both really good players offensively for the Heat. Mavericks defeated the Warriors 113 to 122. Wow, what a good win the Mavericks pulled off. Obviously the Warriors right now, they're second in the conference, in the Western Conference. As for the Mavericks, they are 5th in the conference, so they're falling behind the Jazz. Which, no biggie right there. I still feel like the Mavericks still have competition right now going into the playoffs. They could still make it to the playoffs. Their best guy right now is Luka Doncic. This guy is absolutely stunning. This guy dropped 41 points against the Warriors, and he really stopped, Curry in the paint. So, Mavericks defense was the key factor of this game. And why do I say that? They stopped Steph Curry. Steph Curry was only allowed to have 21 points and a couple rebounds and a couple assists. This guy normally gets averages 30, 40 points in a game, but this guy couldn't even reach barely 20 points, which means the defense of the Mavericks was absolutely perfect. Luka Doncic, this guy was, in my opinion, I think he's better than Steph Curry. I see these highlights of Steph Curry doing so good, and I always challenge that. It's like, he's not the best guy in the league. He's not the best point guard in the league. I think it's Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, this guy is dropping 40 points a game. In his worst game, he dropped 30. This guy's young. This guy is not a veteran. This guy has much time to play for the Mavericks. This guy is the Mavericks' future right here, and he's just putting it down for them. And now, that leads me to the question of, is he the best guard in the league? Obviously, there's Chris Paul. There's Steph Curry, of course. There's a lot of them. John Morant. We see a lot of guys being this good in the league for point guard and shooting guard, but I think Luka Doncic really is the best point guard in the league. Challenge me or not, this guy is stunning. I remember I saw a game one time where he dropped 55 points, even 60 points. This guy you can just look at this guy and pass to him, and he can just do all the work for you. I mean, this is what the Mavericks need. I mean, the Mavericks obviously don't have the best forwards. Obviously, they got rid of Kristaps Porzingis. They're not really looking good right now, going with everyone besides Luka Doncic right now. But Luka Doncic, I mean, without this guy in the Mavericks, they would be worse than 5th in the conference. They'd be like 8th. They wouldn't even be contending for the playoffs. So yeah, Luka Doncic is the best guard in the league. Mavericks would not be as good as they were if they did not have this guy. Kings stunned the Spurs 115-112 in San Antonio. Lakers took yet another L. It's not really shocking. Lakers, I mean, they just can't win. They lost to the Pelicans. They lost to the Kings. And now they're losing to the Clippers 111-132. I mean, what is it? I mean, these guys, they're all healthy. I mean, they got LBJ. They got Russell Westbrook. I mean, what do they need? They can't win games. Reggie Jackson absolutely put them on the ground that game. On the ice action, Wild topped the Flyers 5-4 in Philadelphia. Capitals capitalized on the Hurricanes 4-0. Panthers crushed the Senators 3-1. I mean 3-0. Panthers, they're still really good. As much as they're falling down in the standings, Panthers are still really good. Penguins own the Lightning 5-1. Lightning record is 35-12. Penguins record is 34-14. That was a really good game considering how good both teams are. Lightning, obviously, former Stanley Cup champions right there. We saw a lot of fast break movement from the Penguins. I feel like there wasn't a lot of defense being shown by the Lightning. They really allowed these shots to go in. And as for the goalie, I mean, it was just a bad game for him. But yeah, Penguins, I mean, they're really good. I mean, you should see on them on the ice. I mean, these guys are quick. These guys are back and forth constantly with the Lightning. And again with the Lightning, I mean, they had barely any opportunities to score. I mean, the defense that the Penguins had was so dominant, they couldn't even score that much. I mean, the most guy that we saw the guy try putting in the puck in, but he couldn't even get it in. So, Canucks got the W in New York, beating the Islanders 4-3. Islanders are 6th in the Eastern Conference. As for the Canucks, they are also 6th in the Western Conference. I don't think the Islanders nor the Canucks will go anywhere towards the playoffs. It's just not their year. I feel like with the Islanders, they have a bunch of rookies where they need to work with. They have Noah Dobson, who was recently out of Bridgeport with that Islander team. Oliver Wahlstrom and Ilya Sorokin. Those guys are all rookies right now. I feel like if once they get the improvement, the reps in, they'll be just as good. But right now, the Islanders, it's the build-up season for them. And this win that the Canucks have don't push them anywhere in the conference. They still have a lot of fighting to do. But clearly, if we're starting to get towards the end of the season, the playoffs begin in 2 months. I mean, they really got to make something happen right now. But I certainly don't think the Canucks will be making it to the playoffs. As that takes us now to the Blackhawks, who took the dub facing the Oilers 3-4. Duncan Keith returned to the United Center. We would expect that he would play really good, but he only had one shot on goal, which was not good at all. He really got any chances at the goal. Blackhawks, they finally won in overtime. As you know, the Blackhawks in overtime, they can't win. I mean, these guys never win in overtime. Even when it's the shootout, they just lose. So, I mean, it was nice that they actually got a win in overtime. And Evander Kane had 2 goals and 7 shot on goals. That's really good and really efficient that the Oilers took advantage of. Evander Kane obviously is one of the best Oilers that they have right now. This guy is super fast on the field. Really good with defense and offense, obviously. I mean, this guy, Evander Kane, really works well. The hat tricks that he can pull off is absolutely stunning. We love to see it. Canadians ruled over the Flames 5-4. Canadians, Flames, not as good, but considering that the Flames are doing better than the Canadians found this win really good. Bruins won against the Golden Knights 5-2. Golden Knights are having such a bad year. I mean, we would expect that they're going to be a really good team this year, but they're really not. They're doing just as good as they did last season. Last season was just awful for them. As for the Boston Bruins, they're hanging in there. Coyotes beat the Avalanche 1-2 in Arizona. Coyotes, they're not as good. I mean, but, this win beating the Avalanche 2-1 was really good. Colorado is not that bad of a team when it comes to offense and defense and handling the puck. So this win that Arizona pulled off was absolutely stunning, and they should definitely go forward with it. As that's going to wrap it up for today's sports show. Next time when we come back, we will talk about NBA action and NHL on the ice action again. Mickey should be with us the next time we are here, so that will be great. And he's not really into hockey, but I could really show him what it's. I can really teach him about hockey and everything. He's not, but basketball. We can go up against each other about the Knicks and the Celtics. So we'll be back with you guys more on the Sports Grind episode 23. My name's Tyler Wargo. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sports Grind season 3, episode 22.